What's going on, guys? My name is Sunburn. What's going on, guys? So my name is Sam, and I normally don't introduce my videos that way, but I had a nice sunburn joke that I wanted to make, so I can do what I want. This is my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about a really controversial, kind of touchy subject about physical boundaries. So what is and isn't okay within the confines of a relationship? So part of the reason that there's so much controversy over what Christians believe as far as physical boundaries is because the Bible it never specifically says anything about dating or really about courting. It talks about kind of the cultural norms, but as you'll see if you read the Bible, in Israel, very often godly men, considered very godly, like David, was literally considered to have a heart after God, essentially, and he had very many wives. The Bible seems pretty clear that it would prefer one man and one woman. Well, there are a number of different kinds of laws in the Bible, but one of them is civil law, I believe is what it is, and that's law that would apply to like a civilization. So for instance, it might be acceptable in Israel to take multiple wives, but here in America and in a lot of places in the world, that is
frowned upon in this establishment.
So you can kind of see where Christians have kind of formed a lot of their own opinions as far as what is and isn't okay. There are the people that believe that you're not allowed to do anything. You shouldn't hold hands. You shouldn't hug. You shouldn't even side hug, and you sure can't kiss. And then there's also the other extreme of people that just kind of believe that you can do whatever the heck you want. You can have sex all you want outside of marriage. You can be completely unfaithful. You can, essentially I'm just going to do whatever I want to do, and God will just forgive me for that. So I'm going to go ahead and make statements on those two ways of thinking before I really dive into the meat of what we need to believe, in my opinion. As far as the person that's really by the book, the person that's really cautious and careful about this sort of thing, I don't believe that there's any problem whatsoever with things like hand holding, hugging, and cuddling. There's a line, I believe, that we need to be careful with that. But for the most part, if you're just hugging your girlfriend, hugging your boyfriend, I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's, you see all the Christian memes on Instagram that talk about, it's like, when my girlfriend tries to hold my hand before marriage, that's absolutely ridiculous. There's absolutely no problem with holding hands before marriage as far as I'm concerned. The main thing that we have to be careful of as Christians is that we aren't setting ourselves up for more. And here's, in my opinion, the way that we ought to think about this. We ought to respect this person that we're with, no matter how sure we are that they are going to marry us or be with us forever. We need to respect that person just in case they go on to be with someone else. Basically, to expand on that, my main concern is, did whoever that was treat my wife with respect? Did they honor her? Did they respect her boundaries? Like I said, obviously, if you're looking back and your future self could see your wife doing anything with another person, it'd be pretty disconcerting. And I think that's a lot of the reason why Christians do look at it the way that they look at it. And, I know a lot of people will say to themselves, oh, well, we're engaged, or, oh, I'm 100% sure that I'm going to marry this girl, or 100% sure that I'm going to marry this guy. And so they'll just go ahead and be really physically intimate. And I think that y'all need to really pump the brakes on that. I think kissing is one thing. It's kind of a gray area. For the most part, I kind of fall into the school of thought that kissing is all right, as long as it's not, I don't think that you should just be going going crazy making out with anybody. I don't think that there's a place for that outside of marriage, in my opinion, because I don't think that that's really honoring her, because I think that if she, or if it's a guy, if you're a girl and you're going out with a guy, I don't think that that's respectful to whoever might eventually end up marrying that person. So I hope you guys kind of understand what I'm trying to say there. I'm probably not wording it in the best way, but I think you guys probably get the idea that I'm trying to convey there. Also, as far as that goes, make sure that we don't do anything that could lead us to more. You have to really understand yourself. If you think somehow holding someone's hand or hugging or whatever could lead to you doing something more, know your limits, know your boundaries, know your triggers, what's gonna set you off, because it can be really easy to really fall down that hill. It's a very, very slippery slope. One thing usually leads to another unless both parties have strong convictions not to pass those boundaries. And that's one thing that I would really recommend to you guys, is that before you pursue a relationship, if you both know that you're interested in each other, go ahead and lay down those boundaries. And I can tell you that if your boyfriend or if your girlfriend is really pressuring you to be physically intimate beyond what you're comfortable with, then you need to have a serious talk with them. And if they aren't willing to listen and respect your beliefs, then you don't need to be with that person. I can tell you that 100%. So now we're gonna address the people that are the complete opposite spectrum, the people that believe that basically they can have sex, that they can live together, that they can basically do anything that would be wholly in a marriage outside of a marriage. And you see it so much with these lukewarm Christians that kind of just believe that anything they do, Jesus has forgiven them for it. And while that is true, if you are indeed saved, I would challenge you to think, if you're in that position in your life and you don't have any sort of remorse for doing the things that you're doing, and if you don't try to make a change, if you don't repent, that's one of the true signs of a believer. If you want to know whether or not you're saved, try sinning really badly. And I mean, obviously don't try it, but if you do, you'll probably feel really, really bad about it. And I think that that's what so many people these days end up doing, is they get to this point where they're so comfortable in their sin. And I would really challenge you to ask yourself, am I really saved? Have I really surrendered my life to the Lordship of Jesus Christ? Because guys, if we pray that prayer and we don't really mean it and we don't really surrender our hearts to Jesus, it's more than just saying words and just praying just to pray. Our hearts really have to be in it, guys. We have to really ask Jesus to come into our hearts and really ask him to forgive us and to be the Lord of our lives. Really investigate that. And basically what I'm saying is that is definitely a sin, guys. Like fornication, just in general, sex outside of marriage, there's nothing technically wrong with living with each other, but just, guys, I cannot tell y'all how bad of an idea I think that is. That is a very, very bad idea. So guys, basically the overall gist that I want to get across to you guys is that we need to make sure that we respect the people that we're with, respect their boundaries, and probably, guys, what I would recommend, even though I haven't followed this exactly to a T, is wait until you get to know this person. Wait until you get to know what their heart for Jesus is like. I would say it's probably okay to hold someone's hand, to give them hugs, to be reasonably affectionate, pretty early on. If you really decide that this person is a really awesome person, I would say personally that you leave it for when you really, really think that person could be the one for kissing. Probably just give it a few months, guys. Wait till engagement if you can. I think that would be a wonderful thing, a wonderful story to be able to tell your children. I don't think that the Bible explicitly requires that we not do that. But I just think that it's a really good idea to wait to kiss that person, because I believe that that's a really important thing. Like I said, we need to make sure that we respect the people that we go out with for whoever that person might eventually end up being with. Basically, guys, just treat your significant other, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, as if you're not 100% sure that it's going to work out, that they might very well end up being with someone else. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I have a feeling that some of you guys are going to disagree with some of the things that I said, and that's perfectly fine. I'd be happy to talk to you guys about it in the comment section. Like I said, I'm very willing to discuss my opinion, hopefully in a diplomatic manner. Hopefully we don't fight, but that we just have a really good and productive conversation about this. So anyway, guys, I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that might be. My schedule's been a little bit crazy, but hopefully either Monday or Tuesday. So anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all. See you guys in the next video. Thanks.